I just left the floor of the House of Representatives to cut this video because I want to keep all of you informed about the shenanigans on how Springfield's ran, because something very disturbing has popped up. So we're here, within the last 10 days of session where controversial pieces of legislation are voted on, not surprisingly, with very, very short notice. And so a manipulation of the rules is beginning to occur. And this is very, very frustrating. And it's how Springfield is ran, correct? I mean, this is how it's done every year. Like I said, we're getting down to the last 10 days, and there's a $50 billion budget out there that nobody's seen yet that we're going to have to vote on at some point. Probably we'll get it hours before we have to vote on it. So the rules are in place here to protect the taxpayers, to protect all of you, to give ample notice when controversial pieces of legislation are voted on. And so if there is a bill that, say, costs money or impacts the law in a certain way, we as an opposition party or even somebody in the majority party can file a note on that bill. And when you file the note, it requires the sponsor to actually go and get information on that bill before it's voted on. So for instance, and this is designed to protect you, the taxpayer, you've probably heard about the bill that passed in previous sessions that gives illegal immigrants free health care, which is going to cost upwards of $1 billion. So when that bill was passed, I could file what's called a fiscal note on that bill. And so before that bill is moved, the sponsor would actually have to go back and do an analysis and figure out how much that's going to cost the taxpayer. It's designed that way in the rules to protect all of you, so that if we do something like that here, we have to be transparent and tell you that it's going to cost $1 billion to provide illegal immigrants health care. And so what has happened in years past, as we have filed these fiscal notes on these controversial bills, the Democrats have simply made a motion to rule the fiscal note inapplicable. And they take a vote. They all vote that basically the vote is saying that there's no standing, right? So they'll say that there is no fiscal impact for providing illegal immigrants free health care, which is nonsense. Anybody can see that that's going to cost the taxpayers money, but they simply rule it inapplicable. And so for years, ever since I've been here, they've been pulling this nonsense, and we scream about it. And it started to get some traction, but people started to agree that this is ridiculous. This is abuse of the rule system. So now the Democrats, understanding that they've been embarrassed by this, have decided to start putting notes on their own bills. So you have a sponsor of a bill putting all of the available notes that you can file on the bill, and then simply removing them when we get ready to debate the bill. So now we are not even able to utilize the rules that are in place to protect you as the taxpayer. It's a sham. And it's the latest example of how this place is ran with no regard for transparency, no regard for ethics, and the system is completely gamed. Pay attention, because there's going to be more of this nonsense in the next 10 days.